Science is an art, really. I think you have to be creative, you have to be innovative, you have to think outside of the box a lot of the time, you have to be fearless, you have to be able to go into a spot where things are unknown, where you're not sure exactly how things are going to turn out. The outputs of science quite often can be super elegant. Like, that's a very weird way to say it, but it's just, there's an elegance to a scientific method and being able to set up your experiment and get results and being able to take that information and have a positive impact and deliver our job.
My name is Masha Sema, and I'm a Canadian Science Policy Fellow. I have a very cool project I'm working on. I help manage an international network of animal health and public health laboratories that deal with very dangerous pathogens.
Mon nom est Nancy Roux, je suis vétérinaire à l'agence depuis 2002 et je suis directrice exécutive du réseau des laboratoires de l'Ontario. Mon rôle est de superviser 3 laboratoires qu'on a à l'agence en Ontario, 2 à Ottawa et le laboratoire de Toronto.
My name is Cheryl Dollard and I'm the National Manager for the Plant Research and Strategies Group here at CFIA. So making sure that plants and our plant resource base are healthy and protected from invasive species and from diseases and anything that could damage them is a really important part of our job here.
I think probably around high school I got interested in all sciences. I was really good in math and physics and chemistry and biology. But then it's actually in university when I first really got interested in biochemistry. I got to think a lot. So I learned the concept and I had to apply them and figure out why things were a certain way in a disease. And that thinking process was very, very interesting, and I wanted to continue doing that. I started working in research laboratories and really got the thrill of discovering new things.
Tout jeune, j'ai toujours eu l'intérêt, la curiosité de comprendre le fonctionnement et la nature des choses. Je faisais des expériences avec toutes sortes d'objets juste pour comprendre la nature des choses.
Well, I've liked science always. From the time I was very, very small, I loved being outside, outdoors. When I got into high school and started studying biology, I knew that this was basically my favorite subject, and I really wanted to do something that was related to biological type science.
I find science so exciting. You're doing novel research that no one else has done, and you're trying to understand how things work in a very complex system. So I think it's the novelty that is particularly thrilling, in my opinion. Yeah.
Pour moi, la science, c'est un domaine excitant, un domaine en constante évolution où la femme a tout à fait son rôle, où on peut faire une différence. C'est vraiment la curiosité de connaître le fonctionnement des choses.
We know so much now, but we don't know even as much as we could know, and there's always something new to learn. Applied science in the agency is actually was really appealing to me. And the idea of being able to take new technologies as they are being developed and applying them in new ways to get those answers faster, more precisely, in a more efficient way, like those things always really appealed to me.
I didn't face any particular barriers in pursuing science. Most of my lab was female, and in my field it's very common. There's a lot of women scientists. Challenges do start once you start having children, and it's becoming much more complicated. And I know a lot of my friends are postponing some having children until they're settled in their careers.
Aussi, j'ai apporté la décoration qu'on met sur la toge lorsque on termine le doctorat à l'Université de Montréal en microbiologie vétérinaire. Donc, c'est quelque chose que j'ai toujours gardé parce que pour moi, ça marquait un événement important dans ma vie. Je terminais mes études tout en combinant mon travail et l'arrivée de mon deuxième enfant. Je pense que ça a été le plus grand défi au niveau de ma carrière professionnelle.
I never felt that I couldn't be as accomplished as my male counterparts, whether I was in university or in a job. Some of that may be things that I've done myself, and some of that may be the change in the way people have thought about science in the last number of years. For a period of time, in my job here at the agency, everybody above me were women, all the way up to the president of the agency. At one point in time, I was looking up a ladder of women.
The first paper is a wonderful feeling. With me here, I have the journal, Autophagy, where I published my first science paper. Autophagy was the topic of my PhD research. It's a recycling pathway that is also can help protect cells from intracellular bacteria and viruses. And so that was my topic.
I didn't have what I would call a classic role model when I was growing up, but I did have people that along the way I felt very inspired by in the scientific community. So in graduate school there was Dr. Colleen Barnes, who was a strong female model for me that kind of showed me that you could be whatever you want it to be. And then ultimately it was my mother, who was actually a very smart and strong lady herself, and just maybe inspired me to go and not even think that I couldn't get wherever I wanted to go.
I think I always looked up to Marie Curie, to be honest. A very cool female scientist who achieved a lot in her life.
Mes parents m'ont amené des valeurs de détermination, et puis ma mère, par exemple, elle est retournée aux études après avoir eu ses deux enfants. Donc pour moi, ça c'est un modèle de détermination. Les gens qui nous entourent font une différence à atteindre nos objectifs puis réaliser les rêves qu'on s'était fixés.
I think any young woman that wants to go into science should just go for it, because I think that the sky's the limit.